Let's dive into yet another exciting video today, talking about none other than our TMNT rivals, the infamous Foot and Hamato clans. These villains are competitors in their own right, holding bitter grudges against each other. Have you ever wondered why? The two iconic clans rose to power at about the same time in the TMNT universe, proving themselves to be formidable foes to our favorite ninja maestros. Their clashes with each other were equally intense, having spanned generations, shaping not only the lives and rivalries of the Turtles, but the entirety of the universe in which they exist. We'll take a good look at the philosophies of each of these groups, how they were created, and how their histories intertwined over the years in each of the universes they existed in. Finally, and most importantly, we'll discuss how their bitter feud shaped the lives and world of our heroic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles themselves. So without any further ado, let's jump right in. But before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. The backstory of the Foot Clan and the Hamato Clan. Eastman and Laird's original comic series depicted the Foot Clan as having been started by two Ronin men who have a surprising history with the Turtles themselves, Sato and Oshi. Now, how are they related, you may ask? Here's the shocker. They were trained by none other than our very own Turtle Ninjas. So basically, one of the Turtles' biggest enemies was, ironically enough, also one of the biggest blunders in their path. When they'd time-traveled with Rennet the Timestress to an era before the creation of the Foot Clan, Raphael had met these two seemingly friendly Ronins and kind of taken them under his wing. He helped them learn ninjutsu, teaching them the secret techniques of the art that he'd mastered and perfected over the course of the years. Oshi eventually began looking down on his mentors, calling them strange-shelled creatures. When the Turtles left that time period to go back to their original one, Oshi and Sato decided to wield their newfound knowledge and skills to form their very own ninja clan. They followed the teachings and ways of the ninja and began with a very simple philosophy, that all great things sprout from very humble beginnings and grow step by step until they turn into a powerful force to be reckoned with. He was of the opinion that many would find faith in their core belief and join them until they turned into an unstoppable force. And just like that, their journey began with that one step, which is why they aptly named their clan the Foot Clan. Over time, the clan became one of the most widely revered and feared gang of assassins, fighters, and ninjas in the history of Japan. While the clan was arguably at the height of its notoriety within the country, two of its most esteemed members, Hamato Yoshi and Oroku Saki, got involved in a bitter fight involving a woman named Tang Shen. Having been two of the most intense practitioners of ninjutsu in the clan, this feud came as a surprise to many. Initially, having treated each other as brothers, their bitter rivalry began thanks to their competing interests over a woman's affection. In a fit of rage, Nagi attacked Shen, who had picked Yoshi to be her lover. Enraged by his actions, Yoshi fought with him and ended up brutally murdering him. Dishonored and thrown out of the clan for killing one of their own, the pair left the country and headed for New York City. The Foot Clan took Nagi's younger brother, the soon-to-be infamous Oroku Saki, under their wing and trained him in the ways of the ninja. He became an unstoppable force, excelling at everything that was taught to him and growing into a fierce and formidable ninja warrior. When they deemed him fit, he was shipped off to the United States to start a new branch of the Foot Clan there, one that he would head. It wasn't long until the clan began thriving in New York City too, and under his adept leadership, they earned a fearsome status for themselves throughout the country. While he was busy expanding the clan into the farthest corners of the city, he was also busy with his own personal side hustle, exacting revenge for the murder of his beloved brother. He used the alias The Shredder while he was out on his vengeful missions, managing to successfully assassinate both Yoshi and Shen. But what he didn't realize at that point was that a decade later, he'd have to face some even more formidable enemies. Yoshi's heirs, his ex-pet Splinter, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Splinter had managed to leave his reign of terror behind and had acquired 4 talented baby turtles upon escaping to New York City. In a shocking accident that should have probably killed them, the turtles managed to survive, and their powers mutated into something even more formidable, They were now almost human-like in their behavior and physique. Splinter began to teach these mutated turtles the secrets and way of the Hamato clan, ensuring that it lived on in Saki's relentless wake. The turtles challenged the Shredder to a duel to avenge Shen and Yoshi's death, and although he was equally skilled, or maybe even more so, he knew he was no match for the turtles. To counter this, he sent one of his most skilled ninja warriors to tackle them. But of course, the warrior was no match either, and was brutally killed. He then took on the turtles himself, battling them with skill and power, but they managed to throw him off a building with a grenade, cementing his death and defeat. After he dies, the entirety of the Foot Clan in the States falls into a state of disarray. Multiple intra-gang conflicts sprouted out of nowhere, and a struggle with Shredder's elite guard ensued to get to the top of the power pyramid. The entire city fell to ruin and chaos, and its citizens were threatened and afraid of what their activities would lead to next. In a bid to quiet things down, Karai, a leader of the gang based in Japan, headed over to New York City to put a stop to the madness. Shocked and horrified at the disarrayed state of things, she was forced to ask the turtles for help to ensure that things went back to normal. In exchange, she promised that no member of the Foot Clan would ever threaten them in an attempt to avenge the Shredder again. A while after things calmed down, a group of elusive Aztec warriors began to target and attack members of the clan in each country. The situation got so bad that Karai was forced to introduce a new branch of the clan, which supposedly remains their only one to date. IDW version of the clans. In the IDW version of the story, the Foot Clan began sometime during the Muromachi period in Japan and was founded by a ninja ronin named Takeshi Tatsuo. Infamous for his skills and abilities as a ninja, Takeshi was so powerful that he was feared even by his very own master, Ashikaga Yu. Yu was the leader of the Yu clan and had taken Tatsuo under his wing, but little did he know the hell he was about to raise with the simple act of teaching him the ways of the ninja. As Takeshi grew older, Yu began to fear the power and influence that he held, sending someone to have him assassinated in a fit of said fear. But Takeshi wasn't one to stand down. He fought the assassin tooth and nail and managed to emerge victorious from the whole ordeal, losing only his right leg in the process. In order to recover and become whole again, he enlisted the help of a sorceress named Kitsune. She not only regenerated his right leg, but also helped him recover from the rest of the bloody wounds he'd had to face in the deadly battle. Once healed, Takeshi brutally murdered Ashikaga for his betrayal, proving that Yu's fears were not unfounded after all. He then took complete control over his clan and renamed it the Foot Clan, inspired by the bloody footprint of his regenerated right leg. In order to ensure his success, Kitsune involved General Krang in the creation of the Foot, cementing their fate as a ruthless and cruel band of assassins. The Foot Clan operated under Krang's influence, with Takeshi as its jonin for over 100 bloody years. Many of the clan's missions involved taking control over foreign territory for Krang. Two of the ninjas in the clan, Masato and Oroku Magi, began to grow suspicious of their jonin's seemingly eternal youth and enthusiasm. On another one of their unnecessarily ruthless and destructive missions, the two ninjas realized that Kitsune often shadowed Takeshi, hence confirming the warrior's suspicion of demonic involvement in the creation of the clan and his eternal fountain of youth. One full moon night, Magi decided to follow Takeshi to discover just what went down in the shadows surrounding the clan, discovering that Takeshi would periodically drink some sort of ooze that Kitsune and Krang would give him to keep him young, healthy, and fit. He was quick to inform the rest of the members of the clan, which resulted in a brutal attack on their jonin once the next full moon night dawned upon them. They stopped Takeshi from partaking in the ooze, and Magi murdered him brutally. Enraged but helpless at the time, Kitsune cursed Magi, ensuring that Takeshi's soul would be reborn in his very own next of kin, Oroku Saki. After Takeshi's death, Magi and Masato began leading the Foot Clan together, turning it into a completely different and opposing version of its previous incarnation. They transformed it into a peacefully practicing clan of ninjutsu, or about as peaceful as a clan that's chock full of talented ninjas could be. They killed only when they were hired to do so, and did not kill without purpose. When Magi's son was old enough, Kitsune began weaving her web around the young boy. Through her machinations, she revealed to him his original form as the leader of the Foot Clan, Takeshi. Although he was now the Chunin of the clan, he didn't hesitate to murder Masato and even his very own father, Maji, in cold blood. He felt betrayed that his origins hadn't been revealed to him, and vowed to avenge Takeshi in whatever ways he deemed fit. When he ascended to the position of the Jonin, his old memories began to slowly reawaken, turning him into a bloodthirsty and violent dictator who would kill any man, woman, or child who stood in his way. He burned down the honorable legacy established by Maji and Masato, putting his own bloody rules into place instead. The clan went back to its old villainous ways, turning once again into the tyrants that were once upon a time feared to be. Hamato Yoshi, a Chunin in the Foot Clan, despised these regressive tactics that had been put into place. He also equally hated Saki. For his alleged treason, he was executed in cold blood along with the rest of his family. As his power and influence grew, so did Saki's thirst for immortality. Kitsune further fueled his greed, guiding him through a ritual that would permanently grant him immortality. She concocted a potion that ensured he wouldn't be reborn upon engaging in the act of harikari, but instead become one with his current body forever. His corpse would be submerged, and when the time was right, Oroku Karai would mix her blood with the ooze that he was submerged in, reviving Saki once again. Coming back to the 21st century, Saki now rules the Foot Clan with his iron fist once again. Now known as the Shredder, he works toward expanding his reach into the farthest corners of New York City. He sent ninja out on search and hunt operations to gather any and all technology that would help the Foot Clan further expand its reach. He was also constantly on the lookout for new test subjects for the mutagen, a deadly mutation element that led to the creation of the villainous Alopex. While on the hunt for these test subjects, the clan stumbled upon Krang, another evil villain on the lookout for a mutant army to meet his own malicious objectives. The Foot didn't hesitate to raid Krang's friend, Baxter Stockman's laboratory, ultimately leading to unfortunate accidents and one fortunate one, the creation of the Turtles and Splinter, also known as Yoshi. After pulling some super clever moves, Splinter emerged victorious in the gauntlet, beating Shredder and Karai to become the new Jonin of the clan. Taking complete control of the Foot Clan, he set out to steer them towards a more honorable path, focusing on helping those affected by their past wrongdoings. Initially, he faced resistance from a foot assassin named Jenica, who tried to overthrow him with the help of the Street Phantoms. Thanks to the support of Leandro and Alopex, Splinter managed to squelch the rebellion and win Jenica's loyalty. After her defeat, she began to trust his leadership wholeheartedly. Splinter appointed his 3 sons, Leonardo, Raphael, and Donatello, as triple Chunin of the Foot Clan. However, Michelangelo chose to distance himself from the Foot, unable to forgive their past actions. The clan would soon face tough times when Kitsune betrayed them. She was a free spirit with her own agenda, and she even ensnared Alopex in her mind control, adding to their hardships. After the Foot Clan defeated Darius Dunn, Splinter made a harsh decision to have Dunn executed by Jenica, although he had already surrendered. This upset Leonardo, Raphael, and Donatello, causing them to leave the Foot Clan. Despite the rift, they left on good terms with Splinter, and Jenica became the new Chunin. Splinter saw this as the birth of a new ninja clan started by his sons, now known as Clan Hamato, with Leonardo as the Jonin. They would operate independently from the Foot Clan, but still remained on pretty good terms with their dad. Under the control of Splinter, the Foot would continue to serve as his sons' allies, lending whatever they were needed whenever they wanted. Although they had come to adopt Hamato as their family's official title, Leonardo and his brothers continued to function more as a family than as a formal ninja clan. Leonardo decided to step back from his role as a Jonin in the clan after Splinter passed away, choosing to find solace in the peaceful work of a gardener for 6 months. Jenica was saddened by the state of the Clan Hamato, where the brothers were drifting apart either by choice or their inability to communicate and express their feelings clearly. After some much-needed intervention, Jenica and the brothers came together to discuss their experiences since Splinter's passing and what they wanted from their future selves. They ultimately agreed to disband Club Hamato and create a fresh start by establishing a new heroic clan culture that would be inclusive of each of them, a clan they would pride themselves on. The movies showed us a different version. The Paramount version of the Foot Clan is considered to be a modern American domestic terrorist organization that is slightly more adult-oriented. Other than the Shredder, none of its members actually know any of the more traditional forms of martial arts. Alongside Shredder and Karai, the movie also introduces Eric Sachs, who is Shredder's follower, and more importantly, the CEO of Sachs Industries. The Foot Clan got its name because its members simply tend to step over the good people of this city with no regard for their well-being. So it's quite apt, don't you think? Instead of the usual ninjas in black unitards, the foot soldiers are now shown as fully armed men in black military-like uniforms, often wearing kabuki-style masks to keep their identities hidden. Although more traditional foot ninjas do make an appearance, they are now updated with modern body armor and technology that allows them to do cool things that they could never do before. Animated version. The Foot Clan was established by Koga Takuza, who also made the Kuro Kabuto as the symbol of leadership. Unfortunately, the helmet was lost over time. Many years later, the Hamato clan invaded and destroyed the Foot Clan's village, leaving only one survivor, a baby named Orokusaki. He was taken in by Hamato Yuta, the leader of the Hamato clan and father of Hamato Yoshi. As years passed, Orokusaki and Hamato Yoshi both fell in love with a woman named Tang Shen, causing tension in their friendship. Orokusaki later learned the truth about his clan's brutal end and sought revenge on Hamato Yuta, who he once respected as a father figure. This led to a tragic event where he attacked Hamato Yoshi's home and kidnapped his daughter, Hamato Miwa, whom he renamed Karai. After that fateful event, Saki found the Kuro Kabuto helmet and started wearing it all the time to hide the scars from the attack at Yoshi's home. He renamed himself the Shredder and worked hard to rebuild the Foot Clan into a strong criminal organization. With the help of Chris Bradford's chain of dojos across America, he recruited a powerful army of ninjas. Fast forward 15 years, Shredder discovered that Hamato Yoshi was alive and living in New York City. To his surprise, he realized Yoshi was training 4 mutated turtles instead of a new ninja clan. This didn't sit well with Shredder, as the turtles continuously disrupted the Foot Clan's operations and earned his intense hatred. Their interference led the Foot Clan to join forces with the Krang, who supplied them with cutting-edge technology. It wasn't long before the Foot Clan and Shredder were ready to take on the mutated turtles and anyone else who stood in their way. After the Krang's invasion was thwarted by the Turtles and the mighty Mutanimals, the Foot Clan emerged as the most powerful syndicate in New York. They started collecting special chemicals to create a mind control serum known as brain worms. Splinter and the Turtles managed to successfully thwart their invasion of Triceraton, with Splinter defeating Shredder and taking control of the Foot Clan. And just when you thought all was well, it suddenly wasn't. But thanks to some timely warnings from Leonardo, Karai reached out to her friend Shinigami to help her rebuild and retrain the Foot Clan and take down Shredder, who was surprisingly still alive. While the Karai-led Foot Clan employed foot ninjas, Shredder's forces used elite footbots. Eventually, Shredder transformed into the powerful Super Shredder after taking a mutagen serum created by Stockman Fly. Tragically, Super Shredder ended up being the cause of Splinter's death once again. Luckily for the Turtles, Leonardo uses the technique of Rivalry to slay Super Shredder, bringing an end to his reign of terror once and for all. Ultimately, he was able to avenge Splinter's death after all. Conclusion. And that's all for today, folks. We hope you enjoyed our deep dive into the histories of these fearsome clans. Did we miss out on anything? Do let us know. These two clans have been the backbone of most major TMNT story arcs, which is why they have such intense and convoluted backstories involving a multitude of different characters through the eras. Their conflict adds so much more drama and spice to the TMNT lore that imagining a world without them is practically impossible. What's your favorite version of their story? Let us know. And if you enjoyed this exploration into the world of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, don't forget to stay tuned for more such deep dives in the future. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.